What is going on, everybody, man? This is your boy R.A. Peasy, man. Listen, what we going to do today, man, we are going to talk a little bit of college. But listen, I know the games are about to start, so this is going to be super quick. I really just wanted to do this, man. My partner, Yogi, man, my partner in crime, man, the one who I started this venture with, he's actually going to be out today, man. He got some stuff to handle at his house. So, we gotta give him the absence, man. He on the injury list, man. He on the injury list, man. But you know what? He here in spirit. I want to go through a couple players that I'm going to be spotlighting before these games actually kick off. So let's get into that right after this.
I know you're scared. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, if I were you. I know you're scared. I do too. If I were you. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring it.
Appreciate it, man. This is your boy R.A. Peasy. Man, listen, man. We had to throw that intro together like 20 minutes before the show last week, and we just never got around to making a new one. But you know what? This adventure is going to be one of the better adventures that I've been a part of, man, talking college football. For one, I love football. Y'all know that. Mainly the Minnesota Vikings. I'm still repping the Vikings, although I'm talking college football today. But I'm going to keep it real, man. We're going to get into a couple things. We're going to get into a couple other games. All right. The first game, man, the obvious game, the one that probably everybody's watching that I actually have pulled up right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, the pipeline to the Minnesota Vikings, man, we watching two quarterbacks today, right? Who is these two quarterbacks, R.A. Peasy, you may ask? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's Caleb Williams and Shedeur Sanders, all right? What do I expect? I'm going to keep it real with you. I expect Caleb Williams to go out there and beat the snot out these. I'm going to just keep it real. As much as y'all know, I'm a Colorado Buffalo supporter. I support everything that Deion's doing for that team over there, but I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I do not see them beating USC and Caleb Williams. I just don't. I mean, Caleb Williams to me is just that much better than the rest, all right? He is the difference maker. So I'm going Caleb Williams. That's going to be my spotlight player for that game in particular. I just think that, Caleb Williams, like I said again, man, he is that much better than the rest of the people on the field. Like, he's going to be the best football player on the field today. And I think it's going to be, noticed early and often, right? I'm excited. I'm excited to watch that game, though. That's probably one of the better games. I actually got it pulled up right here. So let me see. Let me see something real quick, man. I got to go. All right, so Caleb Williams, definitely my first choice in that game. I have USC winning that game, and we're not going to make this too long, man. I'm going to try to get up out of here, 20, 30 minutes, man. I'm going to try to go through real quick. Appreciate you, Six Shooter, man. Appreciate you, man. What I need you to do, Six, man, do me one solid. For the ones that are tapped in, the Triple P, as y'all know, we only did this exclusively this week right here. Might have to do it again next week since my boy Yogi ain't with me today, but we just wanted to show it on the main channel just so people can be aware, man. So come over to the Fifth Down, man. It's in the comments. Please hit the subscribe button, my dog. Six, man. I know you're going to look out for your boy, but go over there and hit that subscribe button for us, man. And hey, you ever want to talk college football, man, it's just something fun we doing. Tap in, all right? My skull bro in the building, man. Purple Gang, you already know, man. Hey, look. Hey, anybody want to talk college football with your boy RAP on Saturday for like 30 minutes? Hey, let's just tap in with us, man. Please do me a solid. Go over to the Fifth Down. It's in the comments. Hit the subscribe button over there. We're trying to grow that. My boy Yogi is not with me today because he had some other stuff he had to do. The last second things, man. You know how life go. You know what I mean? Y'all know how life go. But RAP's going to hold it down. Man, listen, David, you need to tap in with me real quick for 20 minutes and let's talk, man. Let me know if you free, man. Let me drop that link. You know what I'm saying? If you free, come on, tap in with your boy and hold it down for Yogi, man. Because Yogi is not available right now. Yogi is not available, man. Let's hear what you got to say, man. If you got a minute, man, let me know. If you got a minute, let me know. It ain't got to be nothing special. Tap in with your phone. Tap in with your phone, man. Here, I'm going to drop the link down here. Let me turn this off and take this thing off. There we go, man. I dropped the link, man, for anybody that wants to tap in, feels like they want to tap in. I got to take that thing out. That thing messing my computer up. All right. So anybody that wants to tap in, man, tap in real quick. Let's talk some college football. I know these games are about to start. But listen, first things first, man, Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is going to go off. My thing is this, man, the Buffaloes, I've been watching them the past couple weeks. And you know what? Their defense, the secondary is weak, bro. Especially with Jordan Travis. And Jordan Travis, this one player alone isn't about to save them today, regardless. So it don't matter, right? I see USC winning this game big. I'm gonna keep it real. I see, and I want Colorado to win. Like that's the thing. That like my heart wants Colorado to win. You know, my heart wants the Buffs to win, but I just don't see it, man. I got to be realistic, man. That's what I try to bring to the table. You know, the fandom thing. I'm not locked into not one team anyways when it comes to the college side of ball, so it doesn't matter to me. All right, next game, I got Kansas versus number 3 Texas. The player I picked in this game, we all know you Ewers and all that. Listen, he got pictures, man. Hold up, man. Listen, we can bring the boy up. You feel me? We can bring the boy up right here, man. Hold on real quick. Let me find him. We can bring Quinn up. You know what I mean? Obviously, when you're talking Texas, you want to talk about Quinn. But I'm going to keep it real with you, man. Who do I have my eye on today? My eye? Hold on. Let me have my boy, Dave. Let me have my boy, man.
How's it going?
My guy, man. Appreciate you holding it down, man. We got to tell Yogi he owe you one, man. He owe you one. You had to come and save him.
Oh, not a problem, man. I've never really watched college football. I've always been kind of a Michigan Wolverine fan, right?
Me too, man.
Yeah, and my start towards that was Anthony Carter, who turned out to be a Viking, right?
Right,
he was a bad mama jama in college, man. He was bad. And then we got all those USFL guys, you know, Anthony Carter, Keith Millard, and a few others. But yeah, I've been watching Colorado this year. I figured I'm making lemonade out of lemons here, you know.
Yeah.
I seen the Kirko show enough.
Yeah.
I will watch the Vikes, but I seen enough of the movie, man. I know how it ends. So I'm looking for that quarterback, and this one looks good because we got this Caleb guy everyone wants to anoint versus my boy Shador, who has no line. Right. So if he comes here, he's gonna be like, "Damn, this line is great."
Facts. And you put me on the Shador train months ago. You know, I made sure we gave you flowers for that. You've been on Shador for the longest, and you know what? I like the idea. And he's actually his play is showing too. Like, yeah, last game it's hard to judge, man, because like you said, there is no line. I mean, the man had no time to throw. That's the crazy part, right, David? Is we'll talk about Vikings real quick. Is people will make excuses for Kirk not having a line, but when it's somebody like Shador or something, they just ignore the fact that he had no offensive line that game, right? And they just say, "Oh, he played bad," you know. And it's just like one of those things where it's like, man, give me a damn break. You feel me? Like, give me a damn break.
Know, I try to stay objective. You know, I don't want to be like just all one-sided with any take because I'm afraid of being wrong. You know, I gave up on that a long time ago. But, you know, in terms of criticizing Shador, the only thing I really saw was it seemed like his big move to avoid a rush was to go backwards. So he needs to learn to climb that pocket a little more and keep that tackle between him and the pass rusher. I think it's something he can pick up on pretty quick. He probably got that habit, you know, in the lower level, you know, competitions, thinking he just go backwards and avoid talented players, you know. But the way he throws with anticipation, you can't teach that. I mean, you know, when I was watching Cousins last week, damn near every ball was either late or behind the target. I mean, Jordan Addison was open in the end zone for that touchdown at the end. Yeah. And he threw it late, threw it behind him. And, you know, he just doesn't throw with enough touch for me. You know, I wish they would get a radar gun on him and just slow his throw down and get him to that spot where it's that nice arcing ball and go, that's your 100%, brah.
Right.
Okay, so you're going to have to adapt throwing this, which means you got to throw before the break and let them go get the ball.
He hesitates too much. It's like it's like he waits until they're open already. They have to already be open before he throws. And I get what you're saying. Yeah, you got to throw to that spot. You got to
And
throw it to
that's
that
where the
spot.
sacks are coming from.
Right.
And that's where the 3 and outs are coming from.
Right.
When it's 2nd and 15, 3rd and 9, that's Barry Sanders down in distance. That's
Yeah.
why the
Yeah.
Lions could never win with that guy. I know he was a great running back, but when you're 2nd and long, 3rd and long, you're not doing nothing. And
Right.
when, like I said, when Barry retired, they made the playoffs the following year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. So I mean, this is good today, man. We get to see two quarterbacks that, we got fans of the Vikings that we like. People love Shador, people love Caleb. It's good we get to watch that. So, so real quick, who do you have winning that game if you got to call it? We're not the pros, man. You see underneath us, we are not the pros. You feel me? We're
right.
just having some good times right now.
Without knowing anything about college football and judging from how last week went, you got to assume USC is going to spank them, right? But
Yeah.
this will be my first time really watching Caleb.
Right.
I'm sure he's going to be great. And in Dion typical form, I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, though he's going to come pretty
Absolutely.
close to doing that this year, right?
Yeah.
He's got everything but the offense and defensive line. So, I mean, he's
Right.
basically the Vikings in college.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
and he's down JJ in the form of that Hunter kid who's going to be #1 overall in 2 years.
Yeah.
He's
Absolutely.
something else. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping Shador plays well and looks good. Kevin Garnett's on the sideline.
I see that Paul Pierce. They got Paul Pierce on there. That's one thing. That's another thing that people and Terrell Owens. I see they showing Terrell Owens, Gary Rice, the baby. I mean, that's something that they're taking away from what Dion's doing too, man. Just bringing the excitement, man, regardless of whether you like it or not, man. The excitement for those kids to be around successful people like that all the time and just kind of get that inspiration, man. Nobody's doing that, man. Shout out to Dion, man. That's why I love him so much, man. People hate on it like, oh, that shouldn't be in college football. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Why do you say it shouldn't be in college football, man? There's nothing wrong with Dion bringing, other successful people around to motivate these young men, man.
Let's just call it what it is. Dion is bringing conservative principles to the front.
Right.
And that, for whatever reason, isn't very popular these days.
I'm telling you. It's crazy. Crazy, man.
That guy's a walking miracle. I mean, he's damn near losing a leg every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's like, thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus.
Right.
And he just, the blessings, he's unbelievable to watch.
He is,
and the way his kids are and the social media that they have, which I've mentioned a few times in some threads with our smaller little Viking fandom that, hey, go on Well Off Media and say, hey, Shador, get into the draft so you can fall to the Vikes. I mean,
that, and you know what? Us as fans, I'm glad you say that, man. Like, I try to encourage that too. Like, us as fans, us as content creators, like, we definitely can sway the bar. Now, I'm not gonna say we can make the ultimate decision, but we can help with that, throwing bugs out there, man, putting it out in the universe, and if they see it and stuff, I'm telling you, like, it works, man. Look what it did to Dalton Reisner. I feel like Vikings Twitter alone, the Vikings fans alone are the reason Dalton Reisner is in purple right now, because we pushed it, tagging them, all that.
We're right more than we're wrong. I hate to toot our horn, but I mean, these last few drafts that we haven't liked, and the picks that we have liked on the front, you're Ivan Pace, perfect example.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can watch, a game or half a game, or just kind of, we know a dog from a beta.
Exactly.
And that's, I don't need to measure or time any of that.
Right.
If you want to go measurables after you separate the dogs from the betas, I'm all for it. But stop drafting these injury-prone beta guys that have no idea how to play football. It looks like.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm giving Kwesi some leash too. I'm not done with this whole KOC Kwesi nonsense. Get rid of them. We're not the Arizona Cardinals. We're not the Chicago Bears. We're not the Cleveland Browns. You have to stick with these guys for at least the full 4, if not 6 years. Give them time. Let them grow. Let Kwesi cook, like the sign said last year.
Let them cook.
Because I think what we got here is a classic failure of collaboration. I think maybe Kwesi has different opinions. I don't know this, but I'm hoping he does, frankly, because this collab thing, I think KOC and his staff can coach, but I'm assuming at this point they can't identify talent, because I'm thinking our coaches are picking these players and they're just dead wrong. I mean, they wanted Bryce Young last year. We can't forget that point. we're sitting here going AR, 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 and they go, well, if Bryce would have fell to 2, rumor
Mm-hmm.
has it, right? We would have moved up and got him, aka Houston. We had something cooking with the Texans at pick 2,
Right.
and hey, I'm gonna call the ball, man. Bryce, he gonna be a bust. He's too small. When he gets hit, he gets lit the fuck up.
Yeah, he
And
does.
a lot of his throws are ending up in the dirt, from what I've seen. I
Yeah.
saw him at Jets practice on YouTube in the background, not
Mm-hmm.
even clear
Yeah,
tape.
he looks small. He looks
He was
small for
skipping
sure.
some balls in the ground. I'm like, this guy's seeing ghosts,
Yeah,
and I
he looks
can't
small.
blame him. I mean, I'm sure he's got some, number 1 pick overall traits that are like, wow, yeah, Dave Ditter, what an idiot, right? But when you get laid out like that,
Mm-hmm.
it changes you. I mean, I watched
Yeah.
David Carr, not Derek Carr, but his older bro, go number 1, and he fell apart within a year and a half.
Yeah.
Weren't the same guy. I
Yeah.
worry about that happening with Shedeur at this point, with all the hits he's taken. But
yeah, he's tough, man. But yeah, man, so this is what I want to do too, real quick. I want to talk about, so we have, and you can start focusing in on college too. So on Saturdays we can start having these conversations, man, because me and Yogi called this the pipeline to the Vikings, man. And we're gonna start talking about some players, and man, USC just put up a touchdown easy. That's what I was worried about. I was worried about their defense not being able to hold up against this USC team.
well,
But
hey, maybe Shedeur just throws every play. What the hell?
hey, we'll see what happens, man. But
right?
switching to the Texas Longhorns versus the Jayhawks, and what I did was I highlighted a player that I want to watch, man, and that's Jalen Daniels from the Jayhawks, Kansas Jayhawks, right? He's the quarterback. He's 6 foot tall, 215 pounds. He's not the super big dude, but man, the completion percentage is what jumps out to me, right? So first game, 72%, second game, 77%, third game, 73%. He has 5 touchdowns right now, 705 yards, and 1 interception. Now, I look at him and I like how his head stays on the swivel. I actually went back, watched a couple, games, like couple, just did some quick film studying on him, man. Nothing too in depth, but I mean, the guy looks like he can play. Kansas offense looks pretty good. I still have them losing to Texas. I don't know if you're familiar with Texas, but their offense seems pretty good with that Ewers kid. Where he at, man? Ewers, everybody talking about him, man. Comparing him to Caleb Williams and Shadors and saying he might even be, number 1. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's like 6 or 7 of these guys. So, I mean, if we don't strike this year, I mean, I guess
we'll never strike.
Never gonna, right? Yeah.
We're never gonna strike.
I mean, Texas, you know about Bijan, who now is a Falcon, who I think is a low-key playoff / Super Bowl contender with the right QB.
Right.
I didn't know Ritter was that bad. I watched a couple games. I'm like, Jesus, that guy sucks. So
yeah, he does. I liked him too last year, and yeah, he's proven me wrong for sure. He's definitely.
I mean, you got Drake London, you can't get the ball to him. I mean, what the hell are we doing here? But Cousins might be a good fit over there if they got some guards you can.
I think so too.
Just throwing it out there, but
I mean, if Cousins is over there, they're not going to win. But you know what? I think they'll give them some kind of optimism, I guess. As Falcons fans, they'll probably think back to the Matt Ryan days. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we did it with Matt Ryan.
I like how they're reading the terrain. And again, like, if you have the wrong vision, at least it has a chance of winning. Right now, we have no vision from what I can see. We're throwing darts. I don't like it.
Right.
But nobody wants to tackle a good physical running team. And what does Atlanta do? They go and they get 2 running backs 2 years in a row who can run the ball with that line. And newsflash, it's going to win them games because they have time of possession. And defense has only got 3 quarters in them. So come fourth quarter, the game's already decided. We've seen this with the Vikings for, 3-4 years now. But yours, in terms of Texas, I know Manning's kid, and legend has it that the oldest Manning, which is his father, was the best of the 3 Mannings, had he not gotten some sort of ailment or injury or something happened to that guy.
Right.
But they said he was better than the other 2 brothers. So it could be interesting with him the following year to kind of see his development. I mean, he looks like a kid who doesn't know how to swim right now, but what's to be expected. So I'm sure yours is going to be a good one to keep an eye on. I do worry about our ability to identify a talented quarterback. And so I'm hoping we have 2 blue chip quarterbacks we're hung up on and we can't make a wrong pick. Because if it's if it's three and only one are good, we ain't getting the right one.
I'm telling you, I agree. I
We ain't
agree,
gonna.
man. I
We ain't,
agree.
I mean, and it goes back to that Bryce Young, and hey, maybe the kid proves me wrong, and you go, okay, damn, I guess maybe we can evaluate quarterback, but right now
Yeah,
I got to assume we can't based on our other picks and how Bryce Young is looking. Um, I don't even know if he's playing against us this week.
yeah,
I've seen a lot of backup quarterbacks over the years. It's like they try to teach these starters. What do? They get out there, they play, and they just hit the number one receiver. Dude,
right.
Thielen had like 11 catches last week or something.
Yeah, he balled out last weekend, man. He definitely balled out last weekend.
Well, and it's
And we
like Bryce Young is like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do.
yeah,
Throw it to the open guy, my number one receiver. I mean, he's not
exactly.
get the yak or anything, but the guy's always been able to get open. He's just got a
Absolutely,
way to
man.
find the open hole. So, uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't know how to rank these quarterbacks. Hell, we don't even know if Shador's coming out in the draft. I mean, Dad said no, but then he kind of smirked and didn't say nothing, and that told me everything.
I
But
think he'll let him. I think he'll let him make that decision. Especially depending on how the season goes. I think he'll let him make that decision. One thing for sure with Shador, they're making money now to where it's not about. I mean, and obviously Shador is cut from a different cloth when it comes financially, anyway. So
yeah,
he don't gotta go to NFL regardless. You know what I mean? But still, yet, I think that money is definitely going to dictate a lot of decisions these kids make, because if they're making $2-3 million to play college football, they get to have fun, still party, be a kid still kind of in college. Shit, why the hell would you want to rush to the draft? You know what I mean? There's no initiative there. So I don't, I can see them staying, honestly, depending on how the season goes. But yeah, I got them losing this game by a lot. I ain't gonna lie. I think they're gonna get smacked again. I really do believe that it's going to be a couple years before Colorado can get to where they want to be, getting some of the top recruits. But I mean, I want to see them win, man. My heart wants them to win. But that offensive line is ugly. I think that's their Achilles heel, man. That is just Shador's going to just be under too much pressure, man. It's going to be
yeah, I
all big.
agree. I agree. And as great as Dion is, as much as I love the guy and agree with all of his principles, I don't know if he's seeing this totally clear. Probably isn't. He's a dad. I get it. But in
Yeah,
terms of self interest, it's in his best interest for his kid quarterback to play next year. But I
yeah,
think as a dad, objectively looking at it
right.
and watching the rest of the season play out,
Yeah.
I think he's got to go to the draft. I do. I
Hmm.
don't like how David Carr got destroyed in the NFL. There's a chance this kid gets destroyed in college before he gets to the NFL.
Right.
He starts
Right.
changing the way he sees routes and throwing, and because if he's snapping the ball and the first thing he's doing is looking at offensive line asses,
Hmm.
we got a problem, right? Because that's
Right.
number one is eyes downfield,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I couldn't blame him if it happened, but I mean, you're going to be number one pick possibly next year if you stay in the draft, which
Yep.
puts you in the realm of the horrible teams. So I think in terms of legacy, even you
Yeah.
know, you get in the draft this year, there's a better chance you're going to end up on a better ready-made team, and you're cutting that fifth year option back a whole. You're getting in that second contract a year earlier too. So
Mhm.
I mean, the only thing Dad could tell him is, hey, you could be pick number one or pick number two, depending on Hunter, your teammate.
Right.
Be funny if Hunter goes ahead of him, but you know,
Which is a
um,
possibility if they enter the draft together. That's definitely a possibility. I think Hunter's probably going to be more sought after than Shador would be, only because of the skill level he bring. Like he brings a more broader skill level, I guess, for defense and offense. So there's probably going to be some coaches that are probably going to say, hey, you know what? Let's see, man. Maybe you'll be a DB, maybe you'll be a wide receiver, because he's definitely not going to be able to do both in the NFL. We know that. He's gonna have to probably pick one. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah, and his money's at the cornerback position. Let's just
yeah,
put it the way it is. But
yeah,
to have that option to throw him in the slot or in the backfield or whatever you want to do with the kid, 7, 8 plays a game, can't hurt. I mean, that sounds like a number one pick to me.
right,
And
absolutely,
I get quarterbacks, they get all the shine and stuff. But if Shador's that top quarterback 2 years from now, there might be enough warts on him where they're like, yeah, I don't think we can take him number one. I think we need to take Hunter.
right,
So
right,
if you're not going to be number one pick in 2 years, grip it and rip it, man. You need to get your ass into the NFL. You need to get to being a Viking. Let's just
Right.
cut to the
Yeah.
chase here, because
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have a high enough pick for the other quarterbacks ahead of him. And I'll stand by the fact I think he's going to end up turning out being the best one of the lot at the end of the day, barring
Yeah.
any psychological damage going on with him the next 10 weeks. But
Right. But yeah, man. All right. So I got, all right, real quick, because I just want to run through these really quick. I'm going to run through these really quick. All right. So I got Texas winning. I have LSU winning, man. My spotlight player, and that they're going against Mississippi. My spotlight player is Malik Neighbors, man. This dude right here is a savage. He received for over 200 yards in one game a couple weeks ago. He's just balling out, man. So that's my spotlight guy. Georgia versus Auburn, number one versus Auburn. I think Georgia's going to spank them. That's at 2:30. They're going to spank Auburn. I'm going to tell you right now, my highlight player in that game is Brock, their tight end, Brock Bowers. That dude is a savage. You hear me? Like, he's probably going to be the best tight end coming into the draft. Most likely. I mean, there's probably going to be some other guys that compete with him. You know, there's always tight ends coming out of Iowa and shit like that. But, you know, this guy right here, man, I remember watching him play last year with Stinson Bennett, man. And Stinson Bennett really liked him. He's a good target. So I like that. And then the last one that we're going to do, man, I got Michigan, Nebraska, JJ McCarthy. So we can talk about him for a minute too. That's another guy that I have my eye on now. There is some sketchiness, right? So I went and looked at JJ McCarthy, right? Hold on, let me pull him up right here. Let's see. Okay, so he has 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He threw 3 interceptions against Bowling Green. Now they did wind up winning, and this is Michigan 31-6, but 3 interceptions, man. The other top candidates that are, you know, as far as quarterback going into the draft, they're not doing that yet, right? So he's definitely behind the 8 ball with that right there. But how you feel about JJ, man? Have you watched JJ McCarthy any bit this season yet?
I haven't.
Right.
In terms of me evaluating players, I'm pretty. I take a lot of pride in. All I need is 10 plays or less.
Just knowing, right?
Gale Sayers needed 18 inches.
Yeah.
I need 10 plays or less.
You just know, right? Some people are born with that, man. They just know. Right? You know what I mean? It's like you watch them and you just know.
I just watched Caleb overthrow 2 receivers in a row here.
Yep.
With little to no pressure. So that was a high snap. But you know, it's definitely, that's 2 out of 10 right there for me on the record. So
right.
But yeah, in terms of you know, some of these players, I mean, the tight end position is becoming kind of a renaissance where there's so many of them that are just so good. I mean, that Dalton Kincaid kid, he's going to be special, and he hasn't done shit yet, you know, but he's something else. And so I don't know if Kelsey did this or what, but it's just, they're going to be a dime a dozen here pretty soon.
They are. It's already looking like that, to be honest with you, man. There's so many talented tight ends, you know, right now.
And we
between
just
college and NFL. Look at the Lions. Look at the Lions tight end, Laporta, man. Like,
Laporta.
damn.
Yeah, right. I mean, they might have gotten us on that one a little bit.
I think it looks like they won that now for sure.
I thought they were giving us TJ out of pity from pick 12 for nothing. You know, let's measure out all these numbers, and we ripped them off somehow, right? But I don't know, man. They might have upgraded that tight end for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
I mean, they took a freaking carbon copy of the guy just to twist the knife, it feels like. But you know, I'm still a believer in TJ.
Me too.
You know, my biggest problem with him is he plays small, and you saw it in the interception where he lets the ball get to him, and he's always kind of shrinking, letting it get to him, which allows a defensive player to reach around him and stick his arm in there. And for a guy that's 6'5", I mean, why would you elect to play, you know, 5'10"? Someone just has to take him off to the side and tell him what I just told you. Hey, man, you're playing small. What does that mean? Well, you know, let's go play some basketball and work on rebounding, you know, boxing out. Use your ass. Stick your hands out. Catch the ball. That's playing big. I mean, you got these little guys on you. There's no reason they should be able to reach around and make a problem with you catching a ball. You know, so that's my criticism of them, you know, and again, you just 10 plays or less, you know, and boom, I make the decision and I live with it. So,
yeah, man, Shador, I mean, he's getting the ball to his playmakers. They're just not making plays, I guess, you know, I mean, Trojans just look like they do have the energy right now. They just have there's a flag. I got to be offsides. Yep. Throw it downfield. But yeah, it ain't gonna look good for Colorado in my opinion. But yeah, man, going through all the college games though, man, like we're gonna pick 5. So what we want to do is every Saturday, we're actually gonna change the time. We're gonna try to do this around 10 so we can do it before the game start. And we're making it simple for me and Yogi in particular because again, we're like you, like we haven't been watching college football for a long time, and we're trying to learn players at the same time as bring content and kind of do that pipeline thing we were talking about with talking about players that could potentially be Minnesota Vikings, right? So we're just pretty much picking 5 games per Saturday. Yogi picks a defensive player, I pick an offensive player, and we're going to go back and forth. And that's kind of how the formula is going to be for now. Today, like I said, Yogi had some stuff going on. He texted me like 20 minutes before the show, but I'm glad you were able to jump on and we were able to chit chat at least a little bit.
I'll tell you what, man, this format, the stack is definitely working against you here because what we need are a lot of big, ugly guys.
Yeah.
And who the hell evaluates them, right? We look at the quarterbacks, the receivers, the corners, the linebackers. Oh yeah, I don't want to look at a guard.
Right.
We need one.
We'll get Yogi on that. We'll get Yogi on that, man. We'll make that a case.
Right. We need a nose tackle.
Right.
We need a defensive end in a 3-4, whatever the hell that looks like.
Right.
Because apparently, Daniil can't cut it there, and our injury-prone Saint guy, I don't know where the hell they're playing him technically because he can't get on the field. So, I do still think a 3-4 is the way to go.
Yeah.
And it's hey, let's just go to what our team's built as. It's kind of a cop out. It's like, look, I like the idea of that 4th guy being someone the offensive line doesn't know who it is, so it feels like a blitz when it's not. I'm a big fan of that. I think that's the way this league's going. And that 4th guy, if it's Pace, holy shit, does he look good rushing the goddamn?
Yeah, he does. He just needs to get home, man. We got to get him home.
He gets home a lot, but I mean, he's blasting through, or he's just making mincemeat out of these guards. They can't block him. So I mean, I'd probably send him just about every goddamn time, to be honest with you. But I don't know why we don't move Daniil down to the end in a 3-4, and I can't even name the Saints guy. That's how in and out it's been. I knew him when we got him, but now who the hell is he? But put him at the other end, and then if we have a nose tackle, maybe that LSU kid, put him at the nose, and there you go. You got 3 guys that can possibly get home, and now you can send a Lewis Cine at that other outside linebacker spot playing the Joker position, or Metellus, with Ivan Pace and Asamoah, and that other outside linebacker. I guess I don't know who that'd be. DJ Wanham, I want 7 to 6 pass rushers with a nose tackle up there, and we'll deal with the rushing defense as we have to. Peel off a pass rusher one at a time for a run stopper if we have any, because that whole 254 some odd yards rushing, man, that can't play anymore, and we should have won that game. I mean, it's man, I don't know. I mean, I said this last year. It feels like my desperation for a quarterback is subconsciously a way to address all of the elephants in the room in terms of the offense and defensive line. If we got a kid who can run around and hit JJ or JA, it might make that O-line look good, which I know you mentioned it. I've seen it too. The Vikings O-line is like rated 4. I mean, and that's not just with ESPN, but it was also PFF and a couple other sites that seem to rank these things. So I don't know. I mean, quarterback and defensive line, I guess we got to look at defensive ends and nose tackles. I don't know. I mean, who do they even play 3-4s in college?
They do. There's definitely some programs that do it. There's some programs that probably try to do it, but you got to have the right personnel to do it. First of all, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy about our personnel trying to play it, but You know, I got faith in Brian Flores, and I think it's going to take a little bit of time now. We keep saying time. I don't want to wait years, but, you know, something got to shake eventually, God damn it.
Well, and
Because
I think
that's
the
our
defense,
biggest excuse is always, oh, we need a little bit more time. And then 5 years go by and we're still saying we need time. Like, we need to stop
I think the defense has kept us in these games that we
They
should have
have. They've
won.
came out strong. They've came out strong.
I mean,
They're
9
definitely strong.
turnovers is a motherfucker. I don't know
Yeah.
how you get around that, you know?
Yeah. True.
I mean, we won time of possession. That's all I've been looking at. I think we won time of possession last week
Yeah.
against the
Yeah.
Chargers. And so, you know, generally speaking, you shouldn't lose those games. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's just it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, man, listen, we can talk Vikings football all damn day. I know it's hard for us to keep it like on college because, man, listen, it's hard for me. I'm still learning too because I'm like, fuck, I just want to talk Vikings football, man. Yogi got me into this thing, and I'm like, man, it's hard to not talk Vikings. You feel me? But I'm gonna real quick before I go because I'm gonna get out of here, David. Too. I want to go and start like really locking in on these games. I just want to go through my things. I got USC, just so I have this on record. USC, Texas, LSU, Georgia, Michigan. Those are my 5 picks, man, for today. And listen, we appreciate y'all tapping in, man. David, you got to tap in tonight. When we do the Saturday Night Live. You know what I'm saying? That's when we're going to be talking shit tonight. You already know all Vikings talking that shit. You hear me? For sure.
See,
so.
I know you're picking those teams to win.
Right.
I'll just pick those same teams to draft.
There we go.
Let's just get all the guys from those teams.
There you go, man. There you go, man. But hey, man, listen, on a serious note, like if you want to start getting into the college, yeah, man, start just watching a little more and talking about some of the players, man. You're always welcome. You already know to jump on here whenever you want. You know what I mean? Always welcome Saturdays if you ain't doing shit, jump on with us and shoot the shit. You know what I mean? For sure. But this is my wife FaceTiming me, man. We're going to get out of here, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you, David. I'll see you tonight, brother.
See you.
All right, man.